up? Welcome back to Talkin Sports, baby. August 13th, the bubble. The East has settled down. Today episode that'll circle up on the West as a whole. There is some football news. We had a couple really nice tight ends get money. Not much more to say on it than that, but we'll circle up on all of that. Bobby said he's got an Astros take. Me and Keith are scared of that. Let's do it. Let's talk sports. What is going on, boys? Happy Thursday evening to you, and welcome to Talking Sports, whoever's listening, guys and gals. We're in the teeth of it. Baseball's rolling. I think our Cardinals get back into action tomorrow to finally have a full slate. Things are going good at John Boy HQ. I'm coming live from the Roosevelt's studio, RSVLTS/John Boy. And I'm joined by the fellas, man, and we I can't believe, again, just going back to when us three kind of started this and we were like, let's see what happens. Will they play baseball? How's basketball going to do it? Is the bubble going to be cool? Here we are a couple days outside of a pseudo playoff game, or at least the West Coast 8-9 game. And I'm excited, guys. I really am. I watched – a bubble game hooked me in the other night, and I was like, I love this. It's the Nuggets game. So I'll kick it to Keith first. Keith McPherson, the Macaball Trades. How you doing?
What's up? I'm good. Thursday, man, the weeks are flying. Opening night was 3 weeks ago. That's crazy to me. NBA obviously is coming down to tonight, which is like how the West, or at least the 8th seed was won, how the 8th seed in the West was won. We'll see some stuff tonight. Football-wise, guys are in camp. We're starting to see things come out of camp. I watched the Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott press conference yesterday. Kind of got me fired up. I don't know. It is interesting how, like, we started this not knowing where sports would go or what was going to exactly happen. And here we are, college football, we're not sure it's going to go down. But there are sports happening, and we are making the most of it. And I'm excited for the fall and what's to come.
Yeah, man, it's exciting. I'm going to watch some NBA tonight. I'm going to watch some baseball tonight. And I'm going to watch Giants tight end coach Freddie Kitchen do his press conference. Sports are officially back. I love it.
Freddie Kitchen's presser.
Freddie Kitchens.
Great tight ends coach. Always remember with Freddie Kitchens that it was Baker Mayfield's fault.
What did he wore that shirt? What is it? Blame
something making fun of Mason Rudolph.
Something stupid.
Freddie Kitchens, he was just in over.
Blame Pittsburgh maybe, or Pittsburgh started it.
So funny, man. Every report I've seen, and obviously I'm not deep in the NFL webs, but they just said, like, Freddie Kitchen should not have been a head coach. Like, it was nice. Him and Baker were friendly. They had something going on offense a little bit, but they're like, that is not a dude you give the keys to the kingdom. So good. I forgot that he was taking over for the Giants tight ends this year. So big. Okay, Evan Ingram, stock up in fantasy football. That's what you're telling me?
Exactly. Caden Smith, last round. Get ready. The Freddie Kitchen experience begins.
Deep cut, 16-team.
My favorite Giants narrative was like, we have so many head coaches that are now on our coaching staff. It's like that was the fun Giants narrative. You got Jason Garrett, the Clapper, Freddie Kitchens, a couple college coaches. I mean, it's Brett Bielema is our outside linebackers coach. I mean, we are stacked with head coaches.
Dak took a shot at Jason Garrett. Well, not really. It was kind of indirect. He was complimenting Mike McCarthy and just saying, he's got the intelligence. He feels already that they're smarter about their offensive strategy and philosophy in Dallas. I was like, what's that supposed to say about our ex-coach? But
that's a shot at Kellen Moore. That being said, you guys signed Everson Griffin. I don't know how you guys afford everybody. It seems like there's just no such thing as cap space for Dallas.
Well, Jerry.
Dallas has no excuse to not make a playoff run. Like, you guys should be the NFC Super Bowl favorite.
10-6.
There's so much talent.
Still
on
got
that
us
team.
at 10-6. There's too much hype. There's so much hype around the Cowboys every year. It's the first year of the Mike McCarthy era. We've got a lot of veteran coaches too. We've got a lot of, coaches on our coaching staff that have been head coaches or coaches in other places too. Everson Griffin, like I said when we started, I had no idea he was like walking around without a team. I had no idea he was available. So, hey, throw him on this veteran D line. We got Dontarie Poe. We've got Gerald McCoy. Like, awesome. Great. And like you said, I don't know how the Cowboys pay everyone either. Dak spoke about, not worrying about his contract and not worrying about not getting paid right now. And then Jerry Jones talked about, the uncertainty of the country and generational wealth and not being able to get that done. But I don't know how we're literally throwing money to these veteran players that they're not making minimums. Like, these guys have been in the league established for a while. And like you said, when you bring all these veterans together, veteran coaching staff, it's like we've got the talent now and the coaching. There's no excuses. I got the Cowboys going 10-6. Cowboys Nation, people that are Cowboys fans are picking us to go to the Super Bowl, win like 13 games. I don't see it happening.
You should be, though. Like, there should be higher expectations on Dallas. I mean, I think it comes down to Dak. I mean, it's what can Dak do? Because, I know I'm a Giants fan. It sounds like I'm ragging on the Dallas, but that team is so talented. And the fact that you guys went 8-8 last year, that's why I was so scared of Jason Garrett being the Giants coach. It's like, I don't understand how that talented team didn't make the playoffs and went 8-8 in like the worst division in football.
What I can tell you with Dallas is what can go wrong will go wrong. If there's an open receiver for Aaron Rodgers to hit, he's going to hit him. If there's a field goal to miss, it's going to be missed. If there's a snap to fumble, Tony Romo's going to fumble that shit. So I don't get too high up. 10-6 is where I got him at. Jerry Jones says he's going to show grace for the national anthem if players want to kneel. Progress has been made. I'm fine with it. And Jerry also said, hey, we're playing all of our games in front of fans. I've been to Jerry World. Jerry World is fucking huge. If they want to put a lot of people in there and space them out, they can. And I'm sure they have a plan for the suites. I heard him speak on the like luxury suites and how they plan on putting people in there. And then there's also those standing room tickets they sell in Dallas for like $30-$40. You can get the standing room area. They can put people in the standing room area in this coronavirus season too. So Jerry Jones, Texas, they're going to figure out how to put asses in the seats because Jerry needs his football and he cares about his football in America.
Yeah, that Jerry quote was, Jerry Jones. He's like, we're playing football. We're opening the stadium. We'll see you there. It's like, all right, Jerry. Okay, we'll see what's going on, man. And here we are, just starting off. Giants, Cowboys to get into it. Bobby, were you trying to bait people? And be honest, were you trying to bait people or were you genuine with your tweet the other night that was like, I don't see why Dallas can't. I forget how you phrased it. I don't.
There's no excuse for them to not make a deep playoff run. I really do like.
So you
that
genuinely
offensive line
feel that? Okay.
is top 3 of the offensive line. You have Zeke, who's a top 3 running back. On defense, I think Jalen Smith is one of the most underrated players in the league at linebacker. You have Van Der Esch next to him. Sean Lee, who I wanted the Giants to go and get this year on a 1-year deal. They did lose Byron Jones, so the secondary is a little bit of a question. But Keith mentioned all those guys on the D line. DeMarcus Lawrence, like, he's a solid guy. I just don't see how a team with that talent doesn't put it together. Like, it's not just like,
forgot
Cowboys,
about
like,
Aldon Smith as well.
Yeah, Aldon Smith. Like, I know Giants fans in my mentions are going to be like, well, they're going to ruin it, screw it up. And Keith echoed that, but it's just there can be no excuse for Dallas this year. Garrett's out. I know McCarthy may not be everyone's favorite, but there's just no excuse for Dallas to not get it done this year.
Cowboys, Giants to start. Boys, I guess there's a little bit more football news. The tight ends get paid back-to-back today. George Kittle, and then Kelsey follows him up. And then I think, what was it, the big left tackle, I'm blanking on his last name.
Buffalo.
Deion Dawkins from Buffalo gets paid. Anything to say, we're happy to see 3 dudes get paid. It's cool to see, Bobby, right before we hopped on, you said Kittle's like the best non-QB in the league or most important
on
non-QB.
Offense. I think he's the best non-QB on offense in the NFL, or most impactful, just because he puts up top of the league receiver numbers, and he blocks better than most offensive linemen on a San Francisco team that loves to run the ball. And the thing about the receiving numbers he's pitting up on a team that likes to run the ball like that. I think he's like an unbelievable player. If he stays healthy, I think he'll have like a better career than Gronk. Maybe not have the touchdown numbers because San Fran runs so much, and Garoppolo, people have different opinions on him. But being able to be that receiver and block like that, like you can name all the wide receivers, but none of them are blocking like George Kittle.
Kittle pancakes guys. He's fast. He's strong. He is Gronk without all the targets. He is the next Gronk. Like, if you really want to look at him, and he's got that like WWE style and swag to him. Gronk retires, goes to WWE. I love George Kittle. If he had a better quarterback, you put him on Tom Brady's team in the past, even now with the Bucks. Tom Brady's getting Kittle the ball and he's going off. He's stiff arming guys to the ground. He's got speed to break away. I've seen some of his videos training, and he just looks ridiculous. Like Bobby Wagner from the Seattle Seahawks commented, like, "Damn, you're working hard, bro." Like, yeah, I can't wait to see Kittle versus the Seattle Seahawks defense with Jamal Adams. He's going to dominate. They need to get him the ball more, even if it's just screens, some quick check downs. Like, I'm glad they paid him. He deserved that money. Kelsey got paid too. He's right in line. Some people say Kelsey's the top tight end in the league. I'd argue Kittle, but he's a good second. Good for those guys getting paid in this coronavirus year, in this weird time.
Think about this. Rob Gronkowski, who played with Tom Brady's highest catch percentage rate, is 72.6%. Kittle last year was 7% higher, and he had missed 2 games, had 85 catches over 1,000 yards. Like, the guy's nuts.
I think it's pretty widely regarded around football that Kittle's the better blocker than Kelsey. If it was just straight up pass catching, is it still Kittle, or is that kind of a coin flip?
It's hard to say because Kelsey has had he was good with Alex Smith, but he's had Mahomes where
right.
Kittle's got Jimmy Garoppolo, which
and like,
exactly. I don't think anyone's that high.
It comes down to who's
good. You're not like pounding the table for him.
Who's slinging the ball. Like, Mahomes is getting Kittle's the ball. I'm saying it backwards. Mahomes is getting Kelsey the ball a lot more than Garoppolo is getting it to Kittle's. And when you have a quarterback like Mahomes and they're friends, like, they have a rapport, he's always looking for Kelsey. He did ball out with Alex Smith. Just that offense is more geared around Kelsey than the Niners offense is geared around Kittle. The Niners offense is not geared around Kittle. I think they're both great tight ends. They both got paid. We'll see this year.
Honestly, the reaction I got out of you guys was perfect. I got both of you to kind of shrug, exhale. I never get you fools to shut up. So I guess that's a good question then. All right, I'll remember that come football season. Anything else, NFL? Is that it? Did I miss something?
Giants claimed wide receiver C.J. Board from the Jags, 2 career catches.
So no, I didn't miss anything.
The last thing I'll say from the NFL is the Seahawks guy that tried to sneak a chicken. What was that about?
That's a trick as old as time. I'm surprised it messed up.
That happens in college. That happens
like
in
the
college.
boys' clothes, putting like a boy's clothes and a hat on. That's a trick as old as time. I'm surprised you got caught doing it.
So this guy
must have been really small.
That's something that I've seen go down in like college, right? In college football, you come to campus, you're at campus in the college, there's no chicks, and you're not really supposed to bring any girls around. You could sneak a girl in a hoodie where nobody would notice her. But this is the NFL, and we're in the coronavirus times. I don't know what this dude was thinking. So the Seahawks cut rookie cornerback Kemba Siverand. Never heard of him. Kevin Cinderan this week after he was caught on video trying to sneak a female visitor into the team hotel. Clear message on the responsibility everyone has put on the NFL's COVID protocol. The woman was wearing Seahawks gear in an attempt to disguise her as a player, I'm told. It did not work. Was she tall? Like, was she big? And I replied, I was like, well, damn, if he wanted to see her that bad, he's got a lot more time to see her now. He's cut. Was she worth losing your roster spot?
We see it every year. And Keith, you wanted to talk Hard Knocks. We haven't watched it yet, and maybe we'll get to it at another point. I'm not the biggest Hard Knocks guy. Bobby's text seemed like he's not at all, but we'll get there another day. I was making the joke this week in baseball with the Indians, who Mike Clevenger got in trouble, and he's got long hair. I was saying maybe Plesac went out and he brought home a pretty
volleyball player,
pretty girl who had that long hair, maybe a sleeve tattoo, maybe volleyball girl, something like that. And I was saying that as just like a dumb, silly joke, obviously. But this guy went for it. And why I mentioned Hard Knocks is I feel every year on Hard Knocks, there's the undrafted rookie who they're like, yeah, this kid's just as talented as first-round picks, but it never clicks. And, like, I don't know anything about this kid. I don't know if they just sent him an invite or what was going on. But I mean, come on. Like you guys said, like this is middle school stuff. This is sneaking them out. Yeah, throw on my baseball hat and you'll be good. Like, come on.
I have to see what she was wearing. They got to release that.
They got to get her IG up. She better be bad. She better be the finest. Like, nah, bro. Think about it. She just cost you a chance to make millions. She got that wet. She got that super soaker. He couldn't resist.
This is a Nicki Minaj pod.
WAP out here. I haven't heard that song or watched that video. I refuse.
Usually is that's an evolving segment on here. It's Bobby raps a song from the week. That'll be at the end of the episode, folks. NHL, they're playing. We don't really care. Bobby, do you want to do your Houston thing now before we do the NBA East, or should we do the NBA East?
Just real quick, and I don't want you guys to like spend too much time on it. But I feel like people keep on saying, like, well, if the Astros players would have done this, it wouldn't be – I feel like we'd be hating on them no matter what, and we'd be trashing them, and then there'd be videos of everything. Like, I don't think the Astros players could have done anything to do any of this. Like, yes, they could have done a better apology. But do you think – I don't think anyone would be less mad if they did a better apology. And I don't expect them to, like, be like hat in hand. I expect them – they're athletes. They're not the ones who created the system. They definitely deserve punishment. The fact that they're not punished is dumb, and the MLB, in a sense, screwed them, even though they'd rather take the money than that. But I just don't think that we would ever – like, we would be not being as heavy on them if they had apologized more or something.
Yeah, no way. I hate the Astros. I hated them way before this. I went to the 2015 wild card game when Keuchel shoved and – the Astros knocked out A-Rod in the, that was like the last of like A-Rod, Teixeira, Beltran, Brian McCann, Ellsbury, like that old, like the last of the old Yankees before the baby bombers, and George Springer and those guys came to Yankee Stadium and knocked us out. Kobe Rasmus hit a home run in section 204. I got the ball. I threw it back. I'll never forget that. So I hated the Astros.
That's thrilling, throwing a ball back on the field.
Oh, man, my heart.
Like, we did it with a foul ball game at a minor league manatees game, but it's just, we were like 16, so we thought it was like the
throw
most
it
thing
back,
in the world.
throw it back. I'm like, I know what to do. I'm like, I'm not gonna.
How was your throw, Keith?
Pretty good.
I didn't know this. Okay.
Yeah. So you can't find the video. It cuts before you see me, but the ball skips to 204. I get it. And this is 2015. So this is before people were thinking to like Snapchat it or put it on Instagram. I should have had someone video it. But in the bleachers, the bleacher creatures start, throw it back. And I'm like, okay. I launch it back over Beltran's head. Everyone cheers. We ended up losing that game. I don't even know. I think we might have scored one run. It sucked. But either way, I hate the Astros. The Astros beat us that day. There is nothing that they could have done to right their wrongs. First off, the videos that got them in the situation were already 2-3 years old. They were from 2017. Fast forward to 2019 when all the stuff gets uncovered. Here we are in 2020. No, even if they apologized, even if they were, I don't know, not just scumbags, even if they like from top down, like they're just bad from top down. Even if they had a different way about going about this season, fans hate them. People are piling on, as they should. They ruin the integrity of the game. There's nothing that they could have done to right their wrongs once all of that was out in the open.
I'm more locked into the throw. Did you give it 100%? Were you like going for second base? What was
the way that the bleachers are set up, you can't really give it 100%.
Right.
Like, you'll fall. And it was a lucky bounce that it came up to me. I was sitting in 204. The ball dropped like 2 bleachers in front of me, skipped up. I dove and got it before anyone else could get it. By the time I dust myself off, stand up, everyone in 203 is throw it back. I'm like, I know the drill. And I just kind of gave it a heave. But, I mean, I've also been in Yankee Stadium where I watched a fan throw it back in the left field bleachers and hit Brett Gardner in the back of his head. Like, I was there. We were playing the Blue Jays. I saw that, and I never want to be that guy. Like, I remember Teixeira being like, the fans are supposed to be there to cheer for us, not hurt us. So my throw cleared Beltran. I don't think it skipped to the infield, but it was a decent toss. I used to play quarterback back in the day. I could throw the pigskin a quarter mile.
I dig it.
Anyway.
Jake, you're frozen. This guy's frozen like
Oh,
pizza.
is he froze?
Unfreeze, Jake.
He's muted? No, he's not muted.
There we are. Jake.
That internet in the office, man. That's why sometimes I just leave during the games because I don't want to be freezing up the internet. We need like a
Say
It
something,
did.
Jake.
It did one of those freeze, and then it sped up really quickly. So I got Keith's whole thing, but it took a second to get there. And now my video's out, so we'll keep rolling it if you boys got me.
Well, Pennick
and
will
yet-
edit this up. But
Nice
why's your video going? Wirecast?
Yeah, it won't let me pop back right now.
We'll
see.
just
I'll
put that
tweet it.
girl's picture instead of your video.
That's fine. I mean, it's honestly better. I'm still pretty shook by that. I don't know. It's make me question a lot of things. Bobby, with the Astros, man, it's I get it, and you probably see, I don't want to say too much of it because they do deserve a lot of what they get. But think your Twitter feed is definitely one side of the story. And hey, it's the right side of the story. I'm not denying that. But yeah, I mean, people are going ham, and do people overlook the human aspect of it sometimes? Like, hey, if I was on that Astros team and I came up in the system and someone told me, hey, if you hear a bang with 2 strikes, that means a curveball's coming, I'd be like, okay, that sounds pretty dope. But the whole problem is, like Keith mentioned, I mean, the whole organization is flawed. It's top down. It's and they really never got punished as a players and a team. So, Rob Manfred's whole plan was like, oh, we'll punish the organization, and then the players will be, they'll get it from the fans and the media. And then the players just said, like, well, screw it. We didn't really get in trouble, and we still think we're good. So they dug their heels in even harder and were like, well, we're just going to win this year to show you guys up. And it's like they didn't really apologize. Like, no one felt bad about it. So now we're just at this weird place where it's like, you guys suck, man. Like, they don't understand why other teams are even mad at them still.
I just think I would act similarly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not like I get, like, I would understand it, but I also would have that chip on my shoulder back. We're like, well, then if you guys hate us, then screw all you too. Like, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. And I just keep seeing people saying if the Astros players would have done this, I don't think anything would have changed. And I like the fact that Laureano goes after him and the Kellys. I love that stuff. But I just don't think there's anything after they cheated that the Astros players could have done to have not gotten this.
It falls on the organization again, right? So there's supposed to be a PR team. The Yankees have the best PR in all of sports. I want to give them credit for. Like, the Yankees have had some bad things happen, and Yankees PR department has been on top of it to coach the players and how to speak on it, to coach the coaches, managers on how to speak on it and how to move forward, like the whole Domingo Germán situation. Now with the Astros, I don't know if they have PR people in the middle of Texas or in Houston where they are, because the way they handled their fan fest, that was the first thing. We saw their fan fest, and Altuve said, like, you will see, we'll win the World Series again. We're going to come out and win the World Series again. And don't say that. Do not come out and say that. And even when they opened up spring training, they had the press conference, then they delayed it, pushed it a day back because they needed a day of coaching. They coached these guys, and they still couldn't come out and answer the questions the right way, apologize the right way. And that's what people are talking about. So I guess I understand having a competitive chip on your shoulder. Yes, they suck this year. Altuve stole the 2017 MVP from Judge, and I'll never get over it. We're seeing just how, like, average and bad this guy is this year. Like, he sucks this year, and it's all tied together. Some of it is in his head. Maybe some of it is he's just getting older and past his time, but the Astros cheated every single baseball fan. There's nothing they could have done differently after that to change all of it.
I think the other thing that's it goes back to the players. Like, picture being a player. Like, Bobby, you're mostly locked into football. Football guys are nuts, and baseball guys are the same way. And so, as a player, what are you supposed to do? Like, if these players didn't have to apologize, they're not gonna. So these players, like Keith and I just mentioned, they say, like, hey, watch us. We're going to win this year. Because that's the attitude we would have if we're players. That's the attitude you need to have. Like, that's what any player is telling themselves. So that just comes off so wrong to the rest of the league. And, like, again, I think the bigger thing, whether it's COVID stuff, whether it's players talking to the media, whether it's trying to sneak girls into your hotel room, is that dudes are going to make dumb choices. And like, I think whether it's playing the sport or off the field. So Bobby bringing the Astros in here, get out of here. Let's
Number
let's
one
go over to the
Astros fan at John Boy Media.
Number one Astros fan at John. We actually, I think we said it as a joke. I think we had a fan mock up a couple Astro shirts. So the next time Astro fans were like, why don't you have any Astro stuff, that we could be like, hey, come get an Astro shirt.
So like Altuve for MVP
dumb.
or something.
Yeah, I forget. There was I think somebody made a shirt that was like the commissioner made his statement, because that was their go-to line for a while. So we'll see if that actually gets posted.
Worst is
Metsy as a Getsy shirt makes me want to make troll shirts nonstop after that. Just seeing the reaction to that.
It's my favorite shirt we've ever made. Boys, before we get into the basketball, know that you can get into the basketball with DraftKings and also big MMA this weekend, boys. Oh, I can't wait to talk to you about Sunday on that, even though neither of you will watch. The hits literally keep coming from one MMA event to the next. They grow in excitement and anticipation, and UFC 252 is no different, with two of the sport's most respected fighters stepping into the octagon this weekend. There's no better place to get in on all the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. For this weekend's fight, DraftKings is offering all new users the opportunity to bet $1 to win $252. Those are some great odds, guys. Celebrate this weekend's huge event. DraftKings Sportsbook is offering new users the opportunity to win, again, $1 to win $252. Head to the app right now. Check out all they have to offer: fighting props, round-by-round betting, so much more. Plus, with basketball's playoffs around the corner, DraftKings Sportsbook is offering $10 in free bets to use on in-game action for every day of the first round of the playoffs. DraftKings Sportsbook is safe, secure, and reliable betting app. You can deposit and withdraw your funds at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code JOHNBOY when you sign up. For a limited time, all new users can bet $1 to win $252 on this weekend's main event. That's right. DraftKings Sportsbook is going all out for new users, offering them the chance to win $252 when placing the bet on $1 for this weekend's fight. Promo code JOHNBOY only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey only. Other terms and conditions and restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Wow, guys. I think the promotion there is bet $1 to win $252. That was wild. They
UFC 252.
They reminded of that a few times. Guys, let's talk NBA. And the East Coast is settled. We have all the matchups, right? No, there's no other shuffling. It's done.
It's done. You want to go like done. Series by series quickly, and then go through like, hey, what do we think is going to happen coming out of the Eastern Conference Finals?
Let's do it a little bit. So if you didn't know, the 1 seed is your Milwaukee Bucks. They'll be playing Bobby's Orlando.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm on this doppelganger now. She just quote tweeted you. You saw that?
Oh yeah, we're best friends.
She's not bad looking, bro. I don't know if that's
she's
in
hot.
Play, but
she's hot. I'm hot.
Her location on her Twitter is Shake and Bake. You got the Wake and Jake. There's something going on in the universe with this.
Oh yeah, we are. I texted some of my buddies this a minute ago. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know my girlfriend is already mad at me. Like, I don't know how she's going to phrase it or how it's going to go down, but I'm already in trouble for this.
This is entertaining.
Attractive young girl looking like me, because I'm also an attractive young girl. Bobby's Orlando
She's
Magic.
15. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what she's saying about me. Bobby's Orlando Magic are playing the Milwaukee Bucks, the 1 seed. Bobby and Keith's Brooklyn Nets are facing the Raptors. Haven't gotten a lot of Raptors takes in here. Boston versus Philly. That's exciting, boys. And then the Miami Heat will face the Indiana Pacers. I guess seeding and home court stuff kind of doesn't matter at all, right, in the bubble. But I don't know. Do we want to pick a series and run? Do we want to bang out Milwaukee and Orlando? Because I know.
4.
Yeah, Bobby, you're the guy on here yelling at me, telling me Orlando's the 4th best team in the East, and then I lost 5 straight bets on them.
No, they lost Isaac. What do you want me to say? No, it's Milwaukee in 4. Orlando's got nothing for Giannis. And Milwaukee's like a good team. Like I feel like there's this thought that it's just Giannis and nobody, but they're a good team. They've got a good bench. This will be a sweep. I mean, maybe the Magic can slip out one, but this won't be a series.
Stick a fork in the Magic. They're cooked. They're done. Luckily, they could take Ubers home. I watched the Nets punch them right in the mouth on Tuesday with our backups. I know they didn't play Aaron Gordon. I know they didn't play Michael Carter-Williams. They didn't play, Terrence Ross and Jonathan Isaac is out, but they don't have a shot. I think they'll get swept.
Yep.
Yeah, that seems like an easy one. Maybe the Magic get one. You never know, but it feels like it's going to be 2-0. I feel like it's always that third game. Like it'll be 2-0, and then are the Magic going to somehow sneak one out? But it's not like they're going to have a home court or anything. Or technically they are the home court, right?
No, they want to go home. They're looking for the sweep so they can be released from the bubble.
Oh, I forgot about that. They're totally going to be teams that cave, huh?
Yeah, like bye. We're done with this.
Oh, man. Speaking of, do you guys want to talk Nets? I mean, I'll feed it to you guys, and you guys go where you want.
Let me just start. I'm usually hey, winner's mentality. We don't go into series to lose series. I will always pick my team to win. But Spencer Dinwiddie gave up on this team. DeAndre Jordan gave up on this team. Taurean Prince gave up on this team. So many guys gave up on this team that I got to give up on it as well. I got Raptors in 5. And a nice diesel truck behind me. I got Raps in 5. The Nets will sneak one out. Listen, if they had all those guys down there, then I'd be like, you know what? Why not us? But I can't do it. Raptors in 5. They're too good defensively, and they've got Fred VanVleet has been going off in the bubble. I got Raps.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yes, you
do. Hey, the bubble Nets have shocked the world. We have put together some ridiculous games in this bubble. I didn't see this coming. No one saw it coming. No, none of the Nets saw it coming. But I'm not going to be naive enough to pick the Nets to beat the Toronto Raptors, the defending champs, minus Kawhi. But I will say I think the Nets win 2 games and take them to 6 games because that's what the Nets do. We don't get swept. Like the Nets, what year was it? Let's see. 2015, I went to see Nets versus Hawks, and we battled from the 8th seed with the number 1 seed, and I think we forced 6 games out of the Hawks. Even last year, right? We faced off with
we beat the Sixers game 1. I was all in after that game. It was like the Sixers are soft. This Nets team came to play. And then we got
it didn't last long, but like that's what I'm saying. The Nets will steal a game, maybe 2, and there isn't a home court advantage here. There isn't we got to go to Toronto or they got to come to Brooklyn. It's just gonna be who turns it on, and I expect guys like Karis LeVert, who we've seen drop 50, like he might have a night where he drops 30, 40 points. We'll see how healthy we are. Obviously, the Raptors have a great team. Obviously, I don't expect the backup Brooklyn Bubble Boys, Bubble Nets to win this series. So, Raps in 6.
6, huh?
Jake, what was your prediction on Bucks Magic? A sweep?
Yeah, I'm going sweep.
Okay.
Hey,
down.
You know what? I take it back. Give me 1 game. Fournier goes off. That's why I had him higher in the rankings than TJ Warren.
Exactly.
And the Nets, man, I don't have a pulse on that. It's probably 4-1. Jamal Crawford gets 60 points in 1 game.
Jamal Crawford's hurt. I don't think he's going to get cleared.
5 minutes in.
He's not going to be ready. He's pulled his hamstring like 5 minutes into the game. He's washed. He's 40. He's a man. He's 40.
I think he plays hurt and he still gets 60. I don't think the Nets are walking away with that one. Now we start to get into the fun stuff, guys. Boston versus Philly. No Ben Simmons. Has Kemba played yet? Is Kemba out?
No, he's playing.
Kemba's played.
He's not fully healthy, but he's playing.
So just not fully dosed up. I don't know. I think people had such high expectations for Philly this year. It never clicked, and then the season got weird, and now Simmons is out. I mean, I mentioned it as kind of a joke, the Simmons-Ewing theory. You lose one of your best players. Do you get better? TJ McConnell show. Is this going to be a series? Because, I mean, before the season, you would have thought this was Eastern Conference Finals or the round before that.
It's not going to be a series. In my opinion, I watched the Celtics put 150 points on the Brooklyn Nets. And like there's a small rivalry between the Celtics and the 76ers. And without Ben Simmons, that changes the complex of that rivalry. The Celtics are going to be fully healthy, and they know that they got guys like Kemba, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward. Like, they got Marcus Smart. They got a bunch of guys out there that have been in the playoffs before, played competitive basketball before. They're going to turn it on. They're going to seize the moment. Maybe I give the Sixers one game, but I don't like the Sixers. So I'm saying the Celtics can go out there and sweep them, just completely sweep them. I don't know. Maybe Embiid gets one. So I'll go Celtics 4-1.
What do you got, Jake?
This is tough for me. And again, this is where being so sucked into this crazy basketball season, I wish I had a stronger sucked in take about, can they do it without Simmons? I mean, Embiid, Horford, Tobias Harris, McConnell, and Richardson, is that their best five right now?
McConnell's not – Shake Milton's starting over McConnell.
So Shake's playing – I knew he was playing the two. Okay, so they still put him out there. He was all right at SMU. Yeah, I mean, Boston's the better team. I think they can get two. Like, I think Embiid might go out and remind the world why he's Embiid. Like, all these sports heads are having conversations, trade Embiid or trade Simmons. I think Embiid might go out there on a mission to say, like, if they're trading someone, it's the other guy. Because I'm a dude. When he's right, I mean, he's nasty.
Yeah, man. Boston has nobody to cover Embiid. And I really do like Boston. But I don't see how they're going to be able to keep up with that Boston offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love Embiid, but, like, do you count on Tobias Harris and, Richardson to be, like, keeping up with, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and Kemba if he's right? I just don't think they have anything for him. Like Shake Milton, I expect him to average 5 points per game or something like that. I really want to say Celtics in 6 and give Embiid those 2 games and maybe Tobias puts it together. But I'm going Celtics in 5 just because I just don't think Embiid can last with them that long because there's just so much on his shoulders.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Like, if the Celtics and Brad Stevens, obviously he's a much more respected coach. Tatum and Brown, they've had different types of coming out parties throughout their careers, but, people are always going to wonder if, they can compete for the East. I think, and maybe that's the bigger story. Like, nobody thinks the Sixers can still make it out. People are still on the Celtics making it out, right?
Yeah. We'll get to it, but yeah. I mean, there's people that are still high on the Celtics, and rightfully so.
And then the final series, Miami versus Indiana. I love the Heat. I think the world knows where I stand on Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, T.J. Warren for potentially 7 games. Are you kidding me? I don't know, boys. I mean, my heart's saying Heat. Where's Oladipo at? Like, that's my first question to you guys. Is he in? Is he out?
He's in, but, man, his stock is dropping. I get that he's coming off an injury and stuff, but this guy, he's supposed to be the best player for that team, and you just don't hear about him at all. I mean, he's struggled.
Yeah, he's come back down to earth a lot. I don't know if it's from the time off or the quarantine or whatever, but they need him. Like, they literally need him to help out T.J. Warren. And, I mean, he had a decent game a couple nights ago, but he's not the Oladipo that we're expecting, I guess. The thing about this matchup with the Pacers and the Heat is that we saw it on Monday, August 10th, and then they play again tomorrow, August 14th at 4. So these teams are going to get a good look at each other when it doesn't count, and then they got a whole series against each other. The Heat beat them pretty handily, and I watched the highlights of that game. I didn't get to catch that game, and, like, the Heat's second unit did work on the Pacers' second unit. I just like their team. I like the Heat a lot, actually, from seeing them in the bubble. If they're, fully healthy, I think they beat the Pacers. I think the Pacers may get 2 games. If TJ Warren can figure out how to go off, maybe he gets 2 games, but I'm taking the Heat 4-2.
The Heat kind of have Raptor vibes, man. Like it feels like everybody who plays for them's kind of a threat. I mean, I'm looking at the box score from that Pacers game. I mean, Bam Adebayo's been one of the breakout players this season. Jimmy Buckets, Jay Crowder's been through a ton of battles. Dragic, he's going to get you buckets and not much on defense. Duncan Robinson, all he does is just score three-pointers. Good analysis, Jake. Kelly Olynyk, he went off. He had a bubble day. Derek Jones Jr. will dunk on you if he wants to. Tyler Hero is good.
Man.
I mean, he's good. I mean, Andre Iguodala's on this team. I don't think he's done much from what I've seen, but
veteran who's been there.
Nine guys that can get baskets. I mean, that feels Toronto-y.
Dragic and Derek Jones Jr. played this two-man game. If you go back and watch the highlights, just search Pacers Heat highlights on YouTube. About 30 to 45 seconds of the highlights, which had to be longer in the game, you just see Dragic and Derek Jones Jr. making plays, going back and forth with each other. Pick, roll, throwing a ball up. Derek Jones Jr. goes and gets it. Pick, Dragic hits a shot. It's like they were controlling that game with the second unit. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what Sabonis does in this series. Miles Turner. These other guys have to rise around TJ Warren because the Heat knew what to do to neutralize TJ Warren, and they did exactly that. It wasn't all Jimmy Butler.
Is TJ Warren a mental midget?
I think TJ Warren – bro, we talked about how, like, okay, with no fans in the stand, some guys are going to go off. TJ Warren seems to be that guy who can score 20 more points with no fans in the stands. He walks into a game with a little bit of history, with a little bit of a rivalry, with a little bit of, like, knowing that the guys across from you aren't afraid of you and they're ready to check you, and he kind of went quiet. He had 12 points versus the 33 he was averaging. So maybe he is a mental midget, or maybe he just knows that, like, yo, the Heat are legit, and Jimmy Butler was right when he said what he said about you. You said you beat his ass, but you did not.
I mean, I guess that's kind of obviously one of the things I think people are going to focus on. And, hey, if I told it to you guys this way, like, would you rather say TJ Warren is going to turn it on and it's going to be TJ Warren's coming out party, or Jimmy Buckets is going to shut him up? Because I think it's Jimmy Buckets easy for me.
Yeah, Jimmy Buckets is going to shut him up. Jimmy's attitude and the type of guy he is, like, he was so casually just laughing after that game, like, yeah, the Heat, we got something for him. I expect that. And it's the first round. They're going to get them up out of there.
Yeah, I got the Heat in 5.
Yeah,
I was close to doing Heat in 7 if the Pacers would have, like, showed up in that game. But then I just remembered, it's like they're missing Sabonis. Oladipo hasn't been playing well. It's like, do I expect?
Hurt?
Yeah, he's been out. I don't think he's even in the bubble. It's just like, how much do I expect TJ Warren to carry the Pacers?
Sabonis hasn't even been playing.
So and Jimmy, like you said, Jimmy Butler's just like, he's better than their best player, and their best player, TJ Warren, which is funny after the conversation me and you had, Jake, has to carry them, and it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I think interested to see. I mean, I think Nate McMillan has been on this kind of underrated coach type deal for a little bit. And Oladipo, like, I wonder if Oladipo can turn it on and be Oladipo. That would change things pretty quick. But it could also kind of ruin the whole rhythm of that team if you have a 75% Oladipo trying to be 100% Oladipo, and it's not right. Where do you want to go from here, Bobby? Do you want to do straight predictions? Do you want to do –
Well, let's say this. Do we all have the Bucks being in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah.
The Heat, like, I don't think any of us are going to pick the Heat over the Bucks, right?
Okay, so here's the game. It's yeah, I mean, I'm picking the Bucks until they're shown not. If it's not the Bucks, who is it for you guys?
Well, the Bucks will be in the – I'm not saying to make the NBA Finals. It's just going to be in the Eastern Final. Like, there's no conversation with them, the Heat, that you guys want to have, right?
I mean, I wish I could. Like, there is a world where that does happen. I mean, Jimmy Butler would have to go nuts.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening because, I mean, their role players, I guess, could be pretty similar. And just, like, Giannis, I get that he didn't, like, win the East last year, but, like, he showed to be, like, they were in overtime of going up 3-0 on the Raptors last year.
I'll put it at a 5% chance that the Heat could be this year's Raptors. Like, hey, they got Jimmy Butler, and then they've got a bunch of really just good dudes who can get buckets. Like, so there is a world where I can see it, but, like, I could never bet on it or believe in it.
I'd be blown away if it happened. So that leaves us at, who do you guys have facing the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals? Celtics or Raps? For me, I feel I like the Celtics, man. I wish Kemba was healthy. And I think I'm just going to do it. I love what Tatum showed 2 years ago in the playoffs. Last year, I'm just erasing Boston last year from my mind. Like, I don't know what happened with Kyrie. It just nothing worked out for them. But Tatum was a beast in those Eastern Conference playoffs. And now you add Jaylen Brown, who's right there. You don't need Kemba Walker to be fully healthy. Marcus Smart has been making shots. I get they don't really have a center. Like, Theis is okay, but he's not going to defend anybody. I don't know, man. I think I'm going Celtics in 7 over the Bucks. I just think they have they're so much more balanced than Milwaukee. And if they can just figure out, I know it's easier said than done, but just figure out something to slow down Giannis. I don't know how much I trust Middleton and Bledsoe and those other guys to get it done. Like, are we expecting Brook Lopez to be on fire from 3 for 4 wins in that series? I don't know. I think I'm going Celtics. I'm going Celtics in 7 to win the East.
Whoa.
I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. I just don't see Giannis and those guys laying down, or even, I don't know. I just feel like they can turn it on in a different way and hit a different level. But the Celtics are good. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying Giannis is the favorite. They're the number 1 seed. They've been the favorite. MVP. I don't think they got an answer for him. I think it'll go 7 games, but I'm going to go Milwaukee out of the East.
Yeah, Giannis, if it's not now, it's when. I think, Lopez is playing real well, if we want to go there. Chris Middleton, I think it's funny. Like, Chris Middleton's a really nice player, and, I forget. Oh, I think I did this on Waking, Jake, but Chris Middleton seems like the prototypical guy who, like, you just don't believe it until it happens. And if Chris Middleton, if they go to the finals this year, you'll be like, okay, he's a solid 2. But just because he hasn't done it, we don't believe in him. But otherwise, Middleton's nice, man.
Middleton's nice.
I'm not bashing on him. I just that Boston team has so many guys. Like, just look at the wing guys. And Hayward, you got Hayward, who's been playing well, Brown and Tatum. I just think they're going to work it out. I think a lot of it depends on Kemba's health. I hope he can stay healthy, because I just want to see that series. I'm not rooting for anyone. I just want to see that series of those guys at full strength. And I just feel like they're going to put it together somehow. I don't know. There's just too many, like, good players, where Milwaukee, it's so Giannis reliant. I get they have Middleton, but, like, if Giannis is off, like, I don't see the Bucks winning a game. Where the Celtics, they can have one of their guys off and the other guys will pick it up.
Right. Like, that's what I was about to say. Who goes off for the Bucks if Giannis is neutralized? DiVincenzo, Brook Lopez, Kyle Korver, like, Bledsoe. I don't know.
Just name Keith.
I don't know. I just don't.
When we did our third best players, hey, Eric Bledsoe, man, you're a talented dude. Step up. Like, the other team is also going to try to bait you to make the mistake. I mean, Scary Terry got in his head. And if he hasn't learned from that, then I don't know. I think it's Buck Celts. We'll see.
I've been battling this in my head for the last, like, since the bubble started. I have been, like, debating in my head, like, Celtics or Bucks, and I think I'm just going to take a chance and pick the Celtics, just because, like I said, I feel like they're just so much more balanced.
Should we be giving Toronto more love, or does Toronto?
We should be, but I'm just not the biggest Toronto guy. And then it's just, I get they played well, but they lost Kawhi,
Yeah.
And we've seen those other guys we've seen Lowry be really bad in the playoffs. I get DeRozan's gone. But how much, like, Siakam, like, you can't just have a really good 2 games now. Like, you have to be the guy for 4 wins in a series against a good team. So I like them defensively and stuff, but I just don't really believe in them. I don't think, like, who's the guy on that team, you know? Like, you can make an argument for Siakam, Lowry. Hell, Van Fleet has been averaging more points and assists than Lowry has in the, so I'm not in love with that Toronto team.
I mean, Toronto was a bad tip of a Kawhi shot away from maybe not going the length last year. And in the finals and even before the finals, it comes down to stars, and you need star players in winning time, and you need guys that can close. And the Raptors have a good team. They have a good coach, but I don't know without Kawhi, like, is Spicy P that guy? Is Lowry that guy? Is Van Vliet that guy? Like, I don't know if they have that guy that they can necessarily say, this guy's going to win us the game. He's going to take over in the fourth quarter and win us the game.
And you know what, man? Hey, Siakam. Hey, everything I said about Middleton, I mean, dude, Siakam, you know, is he a 1? I don't know. It's tough to say that about Pascal Siakam for whatever reason, mostly because Kawhi carried that team. But go get it, dude. You're a baller, man. So prove us wrong, make us look bad. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be, you know, as much as I pick, like, I think it's gonna be a heated semifinal. I think, like you said, I think Miami, I don't think they have a chance against Milwaukee, but they're not gonna make it easy for them. So I'm sticking with Celtics in 7, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Bucks in 4, totally rested for the NBA Finals.
Or maybe
I hate the Celtics.
And maybe it's you know, it'll be interesting to see if bubble fatigue type stuff kicks in. I wonder if the Bucks do have a significantly easier path. I mean, we're talking about the Celtics going, you know, Sixers, who Embiid, maybe he can pull something out of his butt to make that series drag on. And then you go to Toronto, who, hey, maybe Siakam can pull something out. Where the Bucks, you know, we all had the sweep in the first round / I got my guy Fournier stealing one. But, I mean, they could go Magic Heat. And like we're saying, you know, they should outgun the Heat pretty easily. That maybe it comes down to them being a little fresher. I don't know. We'll see. The bubble, baby. Any closing remarks, boys, before we get out of here?
No, I'm good, man.
Well,
Yeah,
just confirming something from earlier. I did text my girlfriend and I said, there's the girl who looks like me. And she said the beer chugger, and then she followed it with don't run off with her. So she knows how narcissistic I am, and she found a way to get mad at me. So, guys, good talking sports. Excited to talk Western Conference when we get it solved tonight. Go Trailblazers. That's what I've got.
Yeah, same here.
Go Nets.
Heath?
Go Nets.
Oh, in the game tonight? Yeah, I forgot they are playing Nets. Go Nets. Screw the Trailblazers.
Here we go.
I want to see the Suns. I want to see the Suns get that last spot.
I want the Spurs in there, baby.
Nah, the Spurs without LaMarcus Aldridge? Nah.
We stumbled into Cowboys and Giants to start, and here we are with the Nets over the Trailblazers, which would be so much fun versus the Lakers. But we're talking about that on Sunday. Bobby Skinner, Keith McPherson, go check out Talkin Sports. Thank you. Goodbye.